Hey guys, just wanted to jump in, make a quick video about what's going on in the Middle East. This came out from RT News today. You guys may or may not have already seen this. Turkey blames Syrian Kurds for the Ankara blast. Kurds deny it and point to ISIS. So if you guys watched my video yesterday, you would have seen me saying that Turkey was going to come out and automatically blame the Kurds for the bus bombing that killed a couple dozen people and injured scores more. And what do you know? They went ahead and did exactly that. And Kurds are saying that ISIS did it, which is complete bullcrap because we all know that Turkey is working in conjunction with ISIS and supplying them weapons and ammunition to fight the Kurds as we speak right now. So this was definitely a false flag attack. If you don't believe me, I'm going to leave a link from Zero Hedge that came out today stating our latest Turkish terror attacks, false flags, and it's going to go through a list of false flag attacks that the Turkish government carried out throughout the years along with help from the CIA, NATO, and the Pentagon. So you can read that for yourself and form your own opinion, but I guarantee you after reading that, you're going to believe and see for yourself that Turkey is definitely working with ISIS. We've known this all along, and even the Kurds have come out today saying, or yesterday saying that they have proof, quote unquote, that Turkey backs ISIS. But, you know, in the back of our minds, everybody knows that. So, more news coming out from RT. Dozens of Turkish military vehicles cross Syria border and dig trenches. So technically, the Turkish military have crossed over into Syria, into Kurdistan, in a town called Afrin. They've also, it's in the northwestern region. They've also dug trenches in the northeastern region in a town called Sorka and Maidan Ekbis. And they've started construction of a concrete wall in the area as well. So they've got military vehicles and what have you. These are either militants or Turkish army. Doesn't say, I don't think. Might have to read it again, but in any case, Turkish military has crossed the Syrian border, so we'll see where that leads us. And then Turkish forces escort 2,000 militants into Syria, headed towards the embattled border town of Azaz. And so this is basically Turkish forces escorting al-Nusra Front and other rebel factions, including ISIS, into Turkey so they can battle the Kurds and push back and hold back for as long as they can the Syrian government forces, which is not going to last too long, obviously, because as you can see from this map I started making, Syrian forces have advanced steadily and rapidly throughout Syria. Just in the past few days, they've taken control of the entire northwestern front here. The red balloons are the Syrian government troops. The blue is going to be the Kurds. Orange is ISIS, and then green is Turkey. So up here is where the article I just read regarding the trenches that were dug. This is where Turkey has started digging trenches right over the border in Turkey and Syria, northwestern side. And then on the east, I'll scroll over here. They've done the same thing in this town over here, across the border into Syria. And then about 15-20 miles away, you've got this town called Al-Hasaka, where the Syrian government troops are about to take over. ISIS has held it for a couple of years now in conjunction with Al-Raqqa, and the supply lines have been going from Al-Raqqa to Al-Hasaka and then over into Mosul, into Iraq. But Al-Raqqa is about to be defeated by Syrian forces, and so is Hasaka. Once that happens, you're going to have Turkish troops about 15 to 20 miles away from Syrian troops. So that could easily escalate as well. And then, of course, you've got the Turks still continuing to shell the Kurds just outside of Azaz. So you've got the militants, the ISIS militants and al-Nusra and all those coming through Turkey into Syria, being escorted by Turkish troops in covert operations under the cover of darkness. And Turkey's been shelling the Kurds for the past 6 days, and with the Syrian forces closing in, heading north, they could easily start shelling Syrian forces on accident or on purpose. You know, for all we know, this is exactly what they might have had planned the entire time, to wait for Assad's forces to come as far north as they can. Turkey shells the Kurds and accidentally hits Assad's forces, and then you know, all-out war begins in northern Syria and southern Turkey. We definitely know that Erdogan has his troops and all his weaponry and his tanks amassed on the border here as well. So it's getting pretty close. I mean, from the Kurds are fighting in Azaz right now with ISIS, and Turkey does not want to give up ISIS. I'm going to include a link here. A very good article talking about the importance of this town Azaz and how Turkey will not give it up no matter what. So I'll keep you posted on what's happening on the advancement of the Syrian army, as well as the Turkish forces crossing over the border into Syria. Other news we've got, let's see here. The ceasefire is supposed to take place tomorrow, even though it is tomorrow there already. So the Syria conditions make it hard to deploy UN ceasefire, monitors the UN chief. With all the fighting going on, it's going to be very, very difficult for this ceasefire to take place. I highly doubt it's going to happen. If anything, it's going to get worse. And then Russia warns Assad not to snub Syria's ceasefire plan. This is an interesting article. It seems like there's a little dissension among the ranks between Assad and Putin. Assad does not want to stop the fighting whatsoever, and Russia's saying you better stop or else. Russia does not want to start this war. They're trying everything to avoid it, and it's the U.S. and Turkey and Saudi Arabia and the coalition forces, along with NATO and Britain and whoever else you want to throw in there, who are trying to get this war started because of many, many reasons that you guys should already know about, but mostly having to do with the economy and the world markets crashing, and the dollar hegemony and the petrodollar bleeding out. And when the economies of the world crash, what better way to cover it up than with a world war? It's history repeating itself. So not much more going on with Saudi Arabia in the Northern Thunder exercise. I didn't see any other news coming about that, if they're still on the move or not, or where they are. I have no idea, but this article came out, which is basically very, very interesting. I'll leave a link to it. The Saudi foreign minister has basically come out today and said that the Saudi ground forces would target ISIS in Syria and not Assad. They go on to say this guy Adel al-Jabir or whatever, that the operations in Syria have nothing to do with Assad. We're in all these exercises and all the coalition forces and what have you with the Gulf states are aimed at taking out ISIS. And yet he came out on CNN just the other day saying if all else fails, remove Syria's Assad by force. And he said he's not going to stop until Bashar al-Assad leaves and is taken out of power. That has been his goal, along with the United States and Turkey's goal the entire time. They do not want to give up Syria to Assad. They want to take over Syria and then eventually move into Iran. So I'll leave this article for you guys to see as well. It's just hysterical to me, the hypocrisy and the contradictions and the propaganda coming out on all sides right now, especially by the U.S., saying that because the cat's out of the bag, that they control ISIS. It's not about ISIS anymore. They're not in the news, as you can see. They basically changed gears now, saying that the reason for possibly sending in ground troops is because Russia is killing civilians, bombing civilians, when in fact the U.S. is doing the exact same thing. They bombed the hospital over in Syria, and they bombed a bakery the other day, killing 15 civilians. So anyway, that's all I got. I will keep you guys updated as more news comes in. And in the meantime, take care and be safe.